I'm telling you, dude, like, I don't just say that because like I read about it. Like it tremendously helped me.
Okay, so when you look at a stock and you're looking to trade it or it interests you and you look at all time frames, show me like what's your I mean, this might sound simple, but it's like Stuart, you look at all the time frames, but show
Sure.
me like a stock that you would look at that is of potential interest for you. And I'd like to see what you look for on all time frames. If you could share your screen
Yeah,
with me.
yeah, sure. All right, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's look at right now. I don't really see much for me, but let me see if I can find something in general, like one that I'm hoping is going to set up.
Okay.
Because I've been trading. So let's see. Okay, so yeah, let me just show you what I'm thinking about right now for tomorrow. Okay. So for example, Apple, like if I look at Apple, if I'm going to day trade it, I'll look at the weekly and daily, the weekly and monthly, but just real quick, you saw how quick that was. Like I just go right through it because I just want to make sure it's bullish, you know?
Do that again.
So like all I'm doing is I'm looking at the monthly because what I'm looking for is this, you know, big picture, a bullish stock or big picture, a bearish stock, right? I'm just trying to get a, you know, a feel for it. I look at the weekly and slow me down if I go too fast. So sorry. That's just normal. You know, it's like a habit. So just slow me
Sure.
down. I look at the weekly as well because I'm trying to see like what's happening here. Like I see an uptrend here. I see kind of like actually what I actually see is like a little channel right here. We
Mm-hmm.
broke out of the channel and then we're testing the channel. So that's a good sign. That's like a really good bullish sign on the weekly. So I noticed that, right? I don't draw that as much anymore just because I see it, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But then so I just look at the weekly and monthly pretty quick. And then on the daily is where I start to focus on. And on the daily, you can still see that channel. You see that channel right there?
Mm-hmm.
And you can also see, you know, another support, another resistance level, a little bit more clear, and you can see this downtrend line, right? And we know it's bullish overall, but we just know right now we're bearish. You know what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
once it flips, it could be a nice flip because it, you know, it could be. Everything's probabilities. I don't know shit. Like no one knows what's going to happen next. Like that's the truth. But the odds are a little bit in my favor at that point. You know what I'm saying? So then
Sure.
I'll be, if I'm going to be going long, right? If I'm going to be swinging this. But right now, I'm not thinking swinging. Okay. Right now, I'm thinking day trade. Right. So in that case, I'm checking it out. I'm watching it. But for me right now, I'm more so looking at this like on a smaller time frame, like a 30-minute now. We see this little, whatever you want to call it, like a wedge.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we're following it pretty nicely right now. So I'm going to be watching this and I want to see if it starts to top out, you know, maybe if it starts to top out in this top end of the wedge with some type of like intraday, like maybe intraday, it builds up right here. Maybe it just pretend it's tomorrow. Okay. Just pretend
Okay.
it's tomorrow. Ignore the lines except this one. If it starts to build like a nice trend like this, and then shows me something like a reversal, or it shows me like a nice head and shoulders. Like maybe it's like, maybe I know this is not a beautiful one, but maybe this is a shoulder, maybe, you know, a head and then another shoulder, and then it starts to crack the support. That might give me more confidence to then attack it because now I have like this big picture. You know what I'm saying? So like I have two things going for me here because I'm not saying it's going to break, but you know, if I get at 175 short and it goes 172.50 and I can risk 50 cents max, you know, that's not a bad trade.
I want to take this time to say thank you to our sponsor, Cobra Trading. Cobra Trading is the go-to broker for day traders and short sellers. And I'm not the only one saying this. In fact, Benzinga awarded Cobra Trading as the go-to broker for short selling. They have a heavy focus on direct market access order routing, so you have the fastest execution. They have some of the best locate prices and availability. They also have amazing customer service. I've experienced many different brokers, and it's why I use them every single day and why I'm proud to have them as our sponsor. Sign up now by clicking the Be the Trader referral link below and earn 1 free month of software with Cobra and 25% off all commissions. Now let's get back to the show.
So like, that's where I'm thinking on a stock like this. And at the same time, like if this comes down to here, you could build a case for longing it, because big picture, we're bullish. Like I should not be shorting this. We're bullish. But as a short seller, how I would approach it is this way. And so like, I probably wouldn't short this tomorrow, but like if we start to break there, maybe I'd short it. Like, right now we have some strong support here too. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some other things I'm looking for. Like I won't short it until really this breaks. Like, cause this is some strong support. Like this is all day right here. You know what I'm saying? And it built up. So, this is a stock I'm going to avoid. Actually, I'm not going to short this. This is one but that's how I go through it. Like I didn't know that because it's my first time reviewing it with you, like for myself, actually, for the end of the day. So now that the day's over, this is what I would do. I would look at this stock and I'd be like, okay. And I wouldn't do this until the morning because I don't care. After the close, I don't even look at the stock. So the only reason I look at it is because you asked, but like I would normally look at it in the morning and then do this same process. And I'm like, okay, is this a long? Is this short? Is this a long? And if it is, okay, maybe I should long it. And so I'll long as well. So like, but shorting is where my focus is right now. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And what about for a potential swing? Do you have a potential swing in mind?
Swing, nothing right now. The market, I mean, I'm more so just buying long-term plays right now. So like more so for like a year minimum, so I'm like focused on that on another portfolio. In that one, those plays are like, I'm holding for a year, like it's at least a year. So it's nothing like a swing trade. But in terms of what are you looking at right now? Why don't you tell me what you're looking at? And then that way maybe we can review that and see what you're looking for a swing. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. For swing, I don't really have anything in mind right now. I can show you swings that I have that are in play right now. Would you like to see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. It's up to you. If you want to go down that. Did I answer your question? I don't want to take you down.
Yeah.
Like I know you got questions. My bad.
No, it's fine. Really, I guess what I'm asking, I mean, obviously, if it breaks trend on the bigger time frame, you're going to have bigger moves. I just wanted to see some of your say that again.
I mean, nothing's. Don't just understand. Nothing is in certainty. Like typically you could have bigger. The odds maybe.
Well, I should say more likely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you just want to think in absolutes. Because in absolutes and trading, there's just no such thing.
Yeah. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Host disabled.
Okay. Let me unshare.
Okay.
I ain't sharing with you no more, man.
So let me go through my ideas of what I would potential entries for a swing trade. Okay. Short.
Sure.
Let's start short. Okay. I want to hide my equity.
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure I hide that. If we let me write a note real quick. 1 second. So make sure we hide that.
Okay.
Because you showed your account. So I'll put an edit note so that we'll take that out. All right, go ahead, man. Yeah, for sure. But make it a one screen so that way I can see, because right now I see everything.
Sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so what I was looking at for potential entries on a swing trade would be, I mean, the SMA crossover is definitely something I look for, but I don't enter just because they're crossing over, because just like this is AMD, by the way.
Okay.
I mean, it shot up when it crossed over. So what I look for is, and I just want your opinion on this. If it touches the 10 SMA, excuse me. Okay, let's just take this for example. It hit the 20 SMA. And for me, I would think a good entry point would be when it comes below the previous day's low, and go ahead and enter, risking the high a day.
You're thinking short, right?
Short, correct.
Because I was
Like, this
thinking
is-
long just a second ago. Okay. So but is it only because of the SMA?
It's because it's on the daily time frame, it's bearish.
Well, show me what you see. You know what I'm saying? Explain that process. You know what I'm saying?
I see lower lows and lower highs. It hit the 20 SMA, and it's now crossing below the previous day's low for a potential swing, and my risk is the high a day.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Like, and here's the thing, like, I do not trade with any SMAs, EMAs at all. Okay.
Mhm.
So I have no experience trading with that at all. But what I can
Okay.
tell you is, like, when I develop a plan and when I see this chart, like, that makes sense to me. Like, it makes sense to me because if you also draw, if you put your cursor at the top of that day that it crosses, yeah, that's also prior support from a couple of days ago. This is a daily chart, right?
Yes, daily.
So it makes sense to me. You know, like, there's also resistance there. It rejected resistance, and which happens to be your SMA, right? So it's a nice little entry point, and I can see that. I can see that. Now, I'm not saying I would take that trade just because I haven't reviewed it myself, but like, just hearing your thoughts on what you see, yeah, I mean, that makes sense because that's it just, you have a plan. As long as you make sure you have a hard stop and you get out, and then you have where's your profit target? Like, what are you thinking? Like, what's your goal there? Like, what do you see?
There is something that's something I struggle with. My profit target would be support down here. Possibly up here. I'd probably take a piece around here. And
Where's your entry point? Show me your entry again.
Sure.
Without zooming in, like, show me like the other. I lost your entry point whenever you zoomed out.
Let me draw something here.
Yeah.
So there's my entry.
Okay.
Let me zoom out. Can you still see that? Or
Yeah, I can. Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I'd probably take a piece here around this support area. And I'd probably be risking the 10 SMA. Like, once it starts to go, I'd probably take profits around this support, and then another profit target would be this support down here.
And then when you say you'll use the SMA as what do you mean you're going to use it as a stop? What do you mean?
Like, if it's coming down, I might take a piece, of course, along the way. Let's say I took a piece at support here.
Yep.
It comes down. My risk right now, I set it a little bit higher because I think it'll continue to downtrend, although I might change that. My risk would be the 10 SMA.
That makes sense.
Coming down, and then there you go.
Yeah. Oh, so you're in this trade right now.
Yeah.
Good job, man. Yeah. Why are you asking me this question?
I just want to know your opinion, you know?
Yeah, I like it.
I want to try to be as precise as possible.
Yeah, I like it. The only thing let me just explain what I saw. And then I think it's pretty much the exact same thing. Did you say take your first profit at 125?
First profit around 124, 125.
Okay,
yeah,
that's what I say. Yep, 100%. Now at the same time, what's that? What's on this green candle? Sorry, I'm acting like you can see my finger on
okay.
December 14th. December 14th.
December 14th.
Right there. Yep. Oh, one more back. Right there. On that day, what's the low?
130.60.
130.60, and on you got in at what, 135?
I got in. That was a potential. I mean, that was just a potential what could happen. Let me show you or tell you where I actually.
Because the plan makes sense. Now how you execute it needs to, that's the hard part.
I got in it on the 5th of January.
At 143.
143. Yeah. 5th of January. Let's see, where were we?
Oh, nice. Okay, that's right.
5th, yep.
Yep. Okay, so then I would have took some. Oh, so your first profit target was at 120. Nice, man. Well, I would have at least take some at that prior low over there, which was the one we just talked about, December 13th. That's the only thing I would have done different, because it's the key area on the chart. So I would definitely take some off. Like, I'm not saying, everyone's different, but that's what I would do. And then I see why you took some at 125. That makes perfect sense. We agree on that. And then exactly where you're at over there at 105. That makes sense. So I like it.
Cool. I'm probably going to end up getting stopped out of this here pretty soon.
I think what's unique about that is you're always going to get stopped out. You know what I'm saying? At some point. But these are good stops. Like, these are the stops that you're, protecting your gains now at this point.
All right, cool. This is all paper, by the way. This isn't my.
Yeah, that's fine, man. Who cares about that? Like, this is good trading, man.
Paper has been saved my ass so many times, dude. Dude, you know what's funny? This morning I was like, because I had traded my real account all week last week.
Yeah.
And I got stopped out. I had a total loss break.
Yep.
On Friday. And I was just getting
loss,
where I was.
You mean? Same thing?
Max loss, yeah.
Gotcha.
And I was getting to where I was just too hyper focused on stocks. And I was just kind of getting weird about it or something. I felt weird about it. And so I was like,
what do you mean?
I was just so hyper focused, watching every tick, watching
okay.
Looking up the next YouTube video, where can I get an extra tip? I didn't zoom out. I was way too zoomed in.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this morning I made rules for myself last week after I had a max loss. I got 6 rules up here. The 6th one is refer to rule 1, but
what are the rules?
No longer start with a small piece, only start with a position when you've been given a signal or the initial setup of lower lows and lower highs. That is the only time you start in on a small piece. You will paper trade 2 out of 5 days, Monday and Wednesday, no matter what. You will no longer buy or short sell on the breakout point or breakdown unless there is huge volume. And that's on the daily. You will only buy on dips and short sell on peaks and using the crossovers after given a signal or a setup. The stock market is not your master.
That's funny.
It was controlling me, man. It was it had total control over me.
Yeah. You were lacking discipline. I get it.
Yeah. And then be wary. Awesome. Be wary between 11:30 and 13:30.
You want to know what I just did today? Put on my desk, all over my desk.
Yeah.
I put one sticky note. Okay. One sticky note. And I'm not saying this is just what I did today. And it's this one sticky note. It says process. And I put that in this screen, on this screen, on this screen, and right here when I look at my keyboard, and at that door when I walk out. Because what I've noticed is that's for me. I think what you're doing is the exact same thing. It's really good to do because it really reminds you to just focus on that. So that way you can improve on your mistakes at your level. As you're trading, the mistakes is what's going to hold you back at first. You know what I'm saying? These mistakes, your rules are protecting you from you. This is why it's so important, not to learn rules from just someone, and take their rules because it just doesn't fit with you because you're not him, right? Or her. So I think it's awesome, man. I think it's awesome that you have all the sticky notes and have them out because, dude, I used to have all those sticky notes too. I used to have every single sticky note of like, don't do this, only sizing at this, only do this, like, stop doing this, you idiot. I would write that. I'd be like, when you gonna learn? And over time, like, you know what I'm saying? So like over time, you'll grow. And the mistakes journal I talked about a while back, I did that a lot. And when I did that, it really showed me how many mistakes I made. Maybe I only made 3 mistakes, but I made one of those 3 like 20 times that month, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and then that really helped me eliminate those mistakes because if I could have reduced that, I reduced those mistakes. Like one of them was like 20 times. I reduced it to literally like, if I'm like struggling, maybe twice for the month, you know what I'm saying? But like, thanks be to God, like I've been very consistent where I'm able to focus on the process, but don't get me wrong. Like I slipped today and yesterday or Friday where I wasn't thinking about process. I was thinking about money. I was thinking about trying to make money today. And it doesn't matter what I do. If I ever think like that, it doesn't matter. I'm going to lose. Like, it doesn't matter because I trade improper. My setups still work, but I trade and like, I'm not focused on the right process. Right. So today that happened twice back to back. So I didn't like that. So instead, boom, 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 boom. Like, cause who's going to manage us? Right. Who's managing us? You know what I'm saying? I don't got no boss. I don't have a boss going, no. 2 more days of that, you're gonna have to let you go. Like we have no one saying that. My account, is gonna tell me that, but it's gonna be too late by then. So I gotta adjust that focus. And what's crazy, man, and interrupt me if I'm taking up, any question time. So
go ahead, man. Yeah.
But what saves me, the difference now from where I was at like a year ago, year and a half, I'd say a year ago, really. Is I noticed that right away. I've noticed it quicker, like 2 days, like 3 days. That's not a long time to me. Like it used to take me like a week, 2 weeks, maybe even a month to really figure out, hey, you need to do something and make a change. You know what I'm saying? So like that is something. Instead, I would just reduce size. But now what I'm realizing is I used to be on myself and be upset, right? Which would take longer to learn. Instead, now I'm just like, I don't know. It's just part of the process. Like it is what it is. And you're going to make mistakes. Everyone does. Every trader I've ever met. I think that's why, because I talk to a lot of traders. And so like, I know all the ones who've been on my show, dude, they've all made mistakes. And they've all slipped up every once in a while. It still happens. So I'm like, if I'm going to beat myself up, now I'm gonna beat myself up forever, like, so, I mean, so you know what? Forgive yourself and put those sticky notes and move forward and just focus on your process and focus on your mistakes and eliminating those. And you're just going to continue to grow, man. It's awesome.
Dude, I actually, next to these rules, I put charts and I was like, this is what lower lows look like. Okay.
Yes.
This is what higher highs look like. And my girlfriend was like, what did you say? Were you like, why didn't you put those up a long time ago or something?
Something like that.
And I was like, I did. I did a long time ago.
Yeah.
And I took them down. Yeah, I took them down. And, but, they're back up in my face.
They're back up. They're like, what's up?
Dude, I was like, eventually I was like,
did you need to share another ticker? Do you want to cancel so I can see you? Because right now it's like you're a little box.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because right now I feel like I'm talking to a chart.
Sorry. Where is? Oh, stop share.
All right, there you go.
All right, cool.
There you go. That's much better. I can see it now.
Yeah, I don't know. It was these charts helped out a lot. And today I was like, all right, going to trade, with my account. And I put as a rule Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't care what the opportunity is. I don't care if it looks amazing. It's paper trading, and that'll help help me control myself. You know what I mean? And so this morning,
just don't limit. Like, sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, just don't limit. Okay, so why do you have that rule?
Because there's been a lot of times where I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll paper trade this week, and then I don't. Or you gave me advice our first video. You were saying just paper trade for like a month and track it. I paper traded for like 2 weeks. No, I didn't. You know what I mean? That's a control issue.
Yeah, that's just
I'm out of control.
It's discipline. And dude, trust me, man. You gotta trust me. Like, if you paper trade for a full month, you'll learn so much and you'll grow so much.
All right.
Like that it's gonna help you be disciplined in all aspects of your trading. Because you gotta treat the paper trading real though. You can't just okay, like I'm 2 weeks in, I did it for real, and then the next 2 weeks, fuck this BS, I'm just gonna half-ass it because it's just paper trading. I'll just wait. No, you gotta have discipline, be at your desk like it's your real money, and trade it like it's your real money for that entire month. And if you do that, man, I'm telling you, dude, like I don't just say that because like I read about it. Like it tremendously helped me. So like I know it can help you. And I've actually, there's another buddy of mine. He found me from the show. He was on Twitch when I was streaming live. We became friends, and I told him the exact same thing to do, and he finally listened to me, and he did it. And he's like, it helped him a lot to like grow. Like he's only been trading for 6 months, right? So like he's not like leaps and bounds, but what I'm saying is like he's definitely growing more. He's getting more consistent in his real account now. Now he's going through a red spill right now because he's still young in his trading, but like it takes time, right? And so like one thing that you should do is after that full month, all I want you to do is, I don't know if you trade multiple different strategies or whatever, but if you do, track each of those, okay? And after that full month of paper trading, if for any reason any of those strategies pulls up a red flag, if for any reason, like I'm not saying focus on doing this, but if for any reason at least if it makes you go, then maybe eliminate that strategy to your real account and just keep paper trading it while you real trade on your ones you're confident on. And then guess what's going to happen? You've already built a habit of paper trading, right? Because it's going to be hard because you got to be disciplined. You got to do it. But now when you shift to, you kind of reward it yourself. And then you'll see if you're consistent on these in the paper account and you trade it properly, and you know how it feels to trade for real. You felt the heart race. You know how it feels, the anxiety sometimes. So if you treat it properly, did I lose you? Oh, the screen messed up. Oh, you there?
Yeah, you're frozen. There we go. Yeah.
Oh, when did I freeze up?
You froze up for like 5 seconds.
Okay. So if you trade it properly, right? And you just bring the ones you're confident in, if you have the right statistics and you're not bullshitting yourself and you see that it actually is consistent and it actually does work, and you put that in your real account, you should see, some success, whatever that is to you, at least consistency. You know what I'm saying? And therefore, you'll still be, and while you're doing that, you still got to be disciplined and trade this, unless you don't even like that strategy. But if you want to get good at it, you keep trading it, because you might be right. If you look at the big picture, you're like, yeah, I just don't trade it properly. Because every trade is different, right? And every pattern is a little different and they act a little different. As a beginner, it's just harder to like try to do all of them at once because they're so different, and you're already struggling on discipline. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that like is your focus. So just get disciplined and focus on the ones that you're already good at, you have a knack for, and make that work for you after the month, right? and I think you'll be amazed at you'll be amazed at just like how you feel. I can't promise you anything because no one can, but if it works like the way it made me feel, I promise you, you won't regret it. Like you're gonna love it.
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. Well, I mean, it's a good idea, but I paper traded this morning because it's Monday and Wednesday, and I traded like a champion, dude. I traded like a champion, and I was like, shit, if tomorrow's my real account, I'm getting nervous. Like, I'm gonna freak out, and I'm gonna, mess it up. The worst thing is to see like you had the right idea, but you got in way too early, and then you got out too late, or got out too early, and that's been, kind of my issue. But yeah, I just wrote it down.
I promise you,
trade for a
do
month.
that, you'll get confidence. See,
Yeah.
that battle you're dealing with, where I'm worried about tomorrow right now because you're competing with your paper account. Like, it's because you don't have that disconnect. Like, you don't recognize that you don't have belief in your system yet. You know what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
like if you do it for a whole month only paper, you're gonna see red days or red trades, whatever it is. Everyone's strategy is different. And you're doing that every day. And you're gonna be able to track and you'll be able to see, like, okay, I know this works, at least this strategy for sure. So I'm gonna put that over here. And if I only do that one for now, while I still air these out and figure out what's going on, I can at least be consistent. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll help you grow. And I'm telling you, dude, like, and you'll start to feel what it feels like to trade without the fear, right? And what it feels like to trade with all discipline, with no fear. Because it's hard to have discipline and fear at the same time. Let me just be real. It's like it's hard to be like, I gotta have you discipline in front of this big ass lion. Like, hold up. But but it's much easier to focus on one thing first. So focus on your discipline. You don't go and fight Muhammad Ali. You don't just go fight Mike Tyson right off the gate. You're like practicing with mittens for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And then you go and fight some newbie. So just think like that. Like it doesn't just happen overnight. So, but you feel me, man? Like at the end of the day, I'm telling you, dude, if you do this, it will definitely help you in some way. Like, I don't know how, but I know you'll come back or you'll message me, like, dude, it helped me in this way, So like, I know it helped you because trying to battle discipline and fear is tough. But once you understand that you can be disciplined and not be in a paper account and treat it like it's real and go through with it, you're going to have discipline. And then next, you're still going to have to battle fear, but you'll have trust in yourself that as long as I stick to my discipline, as long as I stick to my process, I'm going to take losses. It's part of it. But I've seen that I can be ahead overall. Like, that's huge for you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. That was good. Thank you.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry I talked a lot.
No, dude, this is all, everything you're saying is totally valuable. So I'm happy with it.
Cool, man.
Okay, so why don't I go through my trades this morning?
Yeah.
Well, let me look at my questions real quick.
Sure.
Okay, on the 26th, I think was last Thursday, at 2:00. Let me just pull up.
You want to share your screen again?
Can you see it right now?
No, not yet.
All right. All right. So let's look at Tesla. On the what day was it? What did I say? The 26th. It's data, I think, yeah. At 1400.
This is the minute chart.
This is I'm on the 5-minute chart right now.
All right.
At 1400. All right, let's look at the 1 minute.
Can you hide your clock?
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Wow.
Yeah, that appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, here you go. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So at 1400, okay, so Tesla started shooting through the roof. At the same time, every single stock I was looking at was doing the exact same thing. So let's look at wait, am I already there?
You mean at 1400? You mean the time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Freaking day am I on here?
You're on the 1 minute.
I know.
Should be today, right?
How come I can't get in here?
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to look at the 26th. It's not letting me.
Huh.
Try this one. There we go. Oops, a minute. $1,400. This one started moving up. Like every, so I don't have to go through every chart. Like every single stock was moving up at 1,400.
Okay.
Are you able to explain why that was happening?
Pull up the SPY at 1400. What was it doing?
There we go.
Oh, it's 26.
1,400. Yeah, it was moving up.
Yeah. So right now, like in times of like, and trust me, like I'm able to talk to some friends of mine who've been trading much longer than me. One of them is, his name's Scott. I call him Old Man Scott. He's been trading for like 30 years plus, more than I've been alive. It's nuts. So I, when I talk to him all the time, I get like little pieces of wisdom every now and then, right? Other than that, it's just comedy. It's very good conversations, funny, good times. But during those conversations, like we'll talk about the overall market and we'll talk about those kind of things because I've only been trading for like 4 or 5 years, right? So like I've only seen so many markets. I haven't seen what a 30-year veteran has seen, right? So I'm always trying to learn as much as I can. And one of those things is during times of high volatility, when the market's really breaking down or breaking key areas, and it's just high volume volatility, just like we just had, right? When that happens, the big caps tend to be influenced, right? Or this isn't always like, I'm not an advisor, right? You know that. I don't, but if you just watch, just have the SPY up every day. Just have it up. The daily chart's all you need. You can do, whatever you want, any chart, doesn't matter. And when you're trading big caps, I'm not saying it always is because I don't really believe this. I don't trade with this in mind for most of my trading until the past couple of like weeks, because it's been very extreme and it's been obvious that every time the SPY was moving up, a lot of stocks moved up. Every time the SPY was moving down, a lot of stocks moved down, right? So like they were kind of following the SPY. So like that's kind of how I view it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is that influence? Is that manipulation? Is it?
Oh, I don't think it's manipulation. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I just know that people are buying the overall market, right? The overall market's going up. I'm sure it's influenced by some type of news out with the feds doing, what I don't follow that. I don't trade like that.
Yeah.
But all I care is like if the SPY's moving, everyone's following it, then I need to know that. Like I need to know that because when I'm trading, that's important because like if I'm in a short sell and the market's just rocketing and I'm already up 3R I might cover it all because I'm like, why would I hold this? Like the odds are high against me right now. You know what I'm saying? So like it could influence my trading. Now I'm not saying I'm always gonna get out of a trade because the SPY goes, bullish and I'm short. Like I'm not, but like there's certain times where like if it's abnormal volume, it's ridiculous. Like, yeah, I may do it, like so like you don't learn that until like over time. But I'm glad you asked that, man. That was a good question.
Do you keep the SPY up when you're trading every day?
I have never done that until the past. I have this chart right here. I have a chart on this side. It's just one baby chart. It's like this big. And it's just showing me the SPY. And now I have that up for the past, I'd say 3-4, maybe all of January. And it's been very helpful. And I'm not gonna lie, like I definitely need to keep it up until I start to notice the SPY and the E-mini. E-mini is the same thing. It's whatever you prefer. But I do think I'll be watching it for a while until I might just keep, I don't know. I may keep it up. I may not. I don't have any set rule, but I do know that for now it's up there. For now it's up there.
Yeah. When you told me about the ES Mini, I've been keeping that up on
Yeah.
At the same time. I didn't see any influence, or I didn't bother to look to see if it did that at 1400 or 2 o'clock on the ES
what
Mini.
Day?
The 26th.
26.
I keep the 10-day half-hour chart up, ES Mini.
Yeah, it popped up, broke high day at that point.
Jesus
oh no,
Christ.
I'm looking at Apple. Sorry. Well, that'd be hilarious. Like try to trade something, you're like thinking you're looking at the
yeah. Dude, I did that today.
Dude, that's happened to me too. It sucks.
I shorted an inverse ETF today, thinking it was Pfizer.
Yeah, 1400. Yep, it broke a key area on the chart. So it makes sense. So I mean, like, it makes sense. Like I definitely will be watching it in times of high volatility. Like I am. So I can't tell you what to do, but I am. So like it's important to me to have it. So, and I never use it. Let me be honest. Like I never have ever had it on my charts. But it could be my mature, like I'm growing, changing as a trader. Like it could be that too. But I think it's important now, for sure.
Yeah.
But I trade big caps a lot now. So like, but for small caps, I'd say not so much.
Yeah.
Not so much. Like I was short a small cap and the ES Mini was fucking was bouncing bad or bottoming and bouncing pretty nicely. But there were small caps I was short that was just like dwindling. So small caps not so much, but big caps. So sorry, I need to make that discriminate. Like I need to make that, certain, like it's different. Big caps, I'm definitely looking at this. Small caps, I'm not. I don't care.
Yeah.
Because they're just total crap.
All right, cool. We didn't really just go. Okay, so what I've found lately, best scenario is to, and again, I just want your opinion on this, to get in as early as possible, of course, and go just above full size right off the bat, and cover or sell a bit until I'm actually at my full size, and then set my stops. What do you think about that?
I think having absolute rules like that for your entry is not a bad idea. Like, I think it's a good idea to have, because I know traders do have that I'm actually thinking the same thing. But at the same time, just don't think of it like this. Let me make this very clear. Like, don't think of it like no matter what the chart shows me, no matter what the chart is doing, I have to do, because you got to understand, trading is ever evolving, and the information coming in is never the same as it was earlier. So you just gotta have that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how to explain that other than that, but just know that like that takes time, but just know, like, it's better to have rules and stick to them if you just don't even know how to, at all. But like, I'd say over time, work towards being okay and forgiving yourself if you're kind of changing that up. Now, if you're just changing up every time because you're scared to hold for a profit and you should know the difference, then that's just all new. You know what I'm saying? But like, but you should stick to the rules, right? So just know that, like, I mean, if I'm short stock at $20 and there's key support, like there's like a solid support, and maybe not, yeah, there's a solid support like 1950, right? And I'm risking to 2050. Well, first off, that's a bad entry, right? It's like 1-to-1. But like if it goes to 1950 and I have to be in that stock, I better be covering something there, you know, because for me to assume, well, my rule is that I need 1-to-1 minimum before or I need 2-to-1 before I cover anything. So then if I do that, I could be hurting myself, you know? So like, and I could be hurting myself to stick through the rule, hold for the move, because if it does hold at that key support and I don't cover anything, at least this is my personal thing, right? So like for me, I know my psychology. If I don't cover anything there and it bounces and goes anywhere near my entry, it's much harder. I will stick to it. Like I will stick no matter what to the plan and stick to the stop. But it's much harder to go through that knowing that I should have known better. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just know, like, but I'm going to cover something, because if I had a rule like that, then I'd just be even punch myself twice. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just how I view it. But I think it's important to have rules for profit taking. Like a general rule, like for me, is I don't want to take more than, if I'm going to take anything off at a 1-to-1 or at a 0.5-to-1, if something just random scratch an itch because I'm nervous, I'm not going to take anything more than 10. Like it cannot hit 10%. If it hits 10%, that's too much size. If I take that much off, then I'm not going to take advantage of the 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Like I won't be able to make gains to outweigh my losses. Like if I take 30% or 40% off right there, like I'm not going to get ahead. I could be right all day. So like, that's something that just know, like I have a rule like that to protect myself from cutting my profits soon.
That makes sense.
But that's my rule because that was my struggle back in the day. Like that was my struggle. I would like take too much off too soon, and I would hold only small pieces to the very end, and there'd be enough to get me by. But like, now that I reverse that, it's like, it's, you know, it just makes sense. Like, oh, dummy, duh. But like, it's hard. It was hard for me. So, you know?
Yeah, no, that's good to hear you say that, because that's exactly what I've been thinking. Like take off a big piece when you're profitable and then just hold on to the small amount. So you're comfortable, you can let it play out. But really, I mean, your skills should be better than that if you're going to.
Well, I did that first, right? I think I just talked bad about how I did that to myself, but thinking back out loud now that you said it, I definitely know why I had to do that first. Like the reason I had to do that is because I had to first train myself to be able to hold for a move. And then once I trained myself, then I was like, what am I doing? Like I've been doing this forever. Like it's time to put my big boy pants and reverse that 10%, you know, 10%, 40%. You know what I'm saying? Like trying to reverse that. But at first, if you can't even hold anything, so you got to really listen with the right ear, you know. So I'm glad you brought that up. So like if like that's super important. Like I had to do that first, because at first I'd cover like everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, when I first started trading, you get a good entry and then you get nervous, you get up 10 cents and you're just nervous. You know, there's no reason, and you just cover like 50% right there, you know, and then you cover another 50. So it's just like, I went through those stages, right? And so I had to set up all these rules, and every stage I went through that. And so that's what I'm trying to say.
Cool.
So just
in paper trading,
flexible.
Did paper trading help you to reverse that, or help your mindset to help reverse that?
Paper trading didn't help me with that.
Okay.
Paper trading helped. Well, that's because paper trading helped me more with like creating a plan, getting discipline, right? And then when I start to trade, then the new challenge comes in, right? Where we talked about fear earlier, right? And fear is something everyone battles it different, right? Like, I don't know what your battle is going to be like. I have no clue. But what I do know is like that battle for me was challenging. Okay. So that took me a while, even though I've already found something that works for me. I was like this, like, because I was like constantly like dealing with the battle. Right. And then over time, I started to get better at that battle. And then here's what I told you already what I did. Like I did 1 month. I think I did 1 month of just trading longs in my paper accounts because my shorts that's what I was good at. And I kept on trying with longs. I just kept on trying and trying. But at first, like I talked about this on the show, at first I did it with like the same size as my good trades, like an idiot. And then I downsized and made it like half the size. And then I was like, nope. Then I downsized more. I made it like a quarter the size. And I was good with that. But then I realized that impacted all my great trades, right? Because when a great trade showed up and I'm in 2 longs that are just experiments I'm trying to get better at because I have to work on it, right? I want to get better. Then, and those impact that, everyone's different. Maybe you're different for me, but for me, like it really impact my, there's something to be said about stamina in a position. And I think like my stamina was worn down, and when a badass opportunity came, I still take it, but maybe not with the full size because I'm in 2 POS that are now down a quarter, which I accepted a long time ago. But now that I'm in the position, and I see a great trade, I take 3/4 of a full position, and boom, I could have made it all back and some and paid next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, but no, I didn't do that because you see what I'm saying? So like, that's so that's it.
Yeah. I mean, I can relate to everything you're talking about. Like,
so when I did that, when I went to the paper, when the paper and only did longs, guess what happened? Instead of it was already smooth, but then instead of just being smooth now, what do you expect? It did, thanks be to God for sure. And I'm not everyone, because anytime I get it, it's all about process. It's all about process. It's not about me being a good trader. It's not about you being the best trader. It's only about executing your plan. That's the only thing that we can do. So like the longs showed me, like it helped. That showed me what I was trying to get you experience more is of the idea that you'll start to see you can possibly be profitable already. You could possibly be profitable, but you just don't know it yet. You know what I'm saying? And you will experience that through your own paper trading. I think.
Yeah, I had like a lot of growth just today in paper trading.
Isn't that neat?
Dude, it was crazy. Like I was looking at stocks and I was like, oh shit, I'm doing a paper trade. I'm paper trading today. Dude, I was like, well, now this stock doesn't even look that great. And then I was like, I had like 3 stocks lined up and I was like, well, these don't even look good anymore. And then, I didn't even trade the stocks I was planning on trading when my mind went to paper. And then, dude, I executed like really, really, all these trades worked out. It was great.
Why is that though? What do you think?
I'm a scared trader. I was looking for small profits. Like, here's something that'll jump in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll get in, I'll get out, I'll be relieved because I was profitable today. And that's it. Whereas when I went to paper, it was like, well, here's something that's playing out and it's probably going to flow nicely. Let's do that. And it's paper. So whatever. Now, the other ones I'm going to trade kind of played out, but I wouldn't have played it properly because I was expecting something and that's not what happened. Even though it would have worked out in my favor, I wouldn't have traded it properly. I would have traded it, and then been disappointed. And then,
So it shows you like how you, like when you focus, it sounds like you were just more so focused on like executing, like doing a good trade, right?
Yeah.
And not worry about like money, like a win. Because a win doesn't mean shit, like it doesn't mean shit. So like, what else do you have to go for it? Like good performance, right?
Right.
So you perform well, the process takes care of everything else, right? That's why we talk about like focus on the process, like it takes care of everything else. So that's what you're experiencing, which is awesome, man. So imagine doing a whole month of that.
Yeah.
And really building that into yourself because you're hard-headed, right? Like I'm hard-headed, right?
Yeah, I'm hard-headed.
Like it took me 3 years, right? It took me forever, right? And it's nuts because I just kept hitting a wall, right? And it was myself. So like and there's a lot of things, but it's not just one thing, but it's a lot of things, right? But yeah, man.
Cool. Good stuff.
You came with the questions today, man.
Hell yeah. So for trend lines, do you start drawing trend lines pre-market, and do you trade pre-market? If so, what time?
Yeah, I'm trading.
I understand it's a gray area, but
no, I trade. I trade. I draw trend lines on all time frames. And
pre-market, like let's say you're doing a day trade. If it's pre-market.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. I'm drawing pre-market. I need to see what's happening. Right.
Yeah.
And then I may not keep all those up like at all. Like how I was showing you earlier and I showed and then I delete. I was like, I don't need to draw that. Like I may not draw all of them, but I'm drawing like the main ones, right? That I'm going to use. Right. Or like, because, I don't know. It just depends on how the chart looks. But I need to see what the chart's telling me. I have to in all time frames and pre-market and after hours for sure. I don't trade pre-market. Like it's rare. Like I do. Like if some person watches this and they're like, yeah, you did. And then I post one of my trades, like, okay. But like when I trade, it's like rare. Right. And when I do, it's like right near the open. Like it's in the first 5 minutes, like the last 5 minutes of pre-market.
Okay.
10 minutes, because I see something happening, but it's on the smaller time frame. It's on the pre-market time frame. So the odds are not as high in my favor at that moment, right? So I may have to account my size position because of that, or I may need to wait until like maybe I get in half size or a quarter, whatever, and then it breaks down, right? Because I'm shorting maybe, and when it breaks down, maybe it breaks another 5 or 20 minute or 30 minute like key area, right? And then so I add, what I'm saying? So like I'm starting in, right? So like it's one of those every trade's different and no trade is the same. So that's why it's like really hard that's when we talked about earlier, like don't have absolutes. Like every trade is complete. Like that never really hit me until I changed how I trade it. Now, I'm sure everyone sees it maybe sooner or different, but for me, I didn't see it until I changed my trading style from like a pattern, like only trade a stock that's up 3 days in a row, that's up over 70%, preferably 100%, that gaps down, that's never been red once, didn't even go red once during that time. Like I used to think like that, right? I used to always think like that, and that helped me. That helped me get my first year of consistency where I was like, okay, like I can do this, right? But it was just different trading, right? It's just a different style. And then I started to switch to trading everything, like just price action. I'm trading price action. What is the chart telling me? And then every day there's at least one setup. You know what I'm saying? So like that style is like kind of helped me see. For me, it's just helped me see trading a little bit how unique it is. And how every situation is so different that it's really helped me put that in more perspective. Like I traded that way because I had a process. I stuck to that. So thank God. But I didn't know that deep down the deeper sense of like how just complete random it is. Like it's just like, but at the same time, like it's probabilities, So does that make sense? That just gets you confused.
No.
All right, cool.
No.
It's hard to explain sometimes just because trading's tough, man. Like trading's not like, that's why I think it's so hard for people to understand. Like it's really hard to learn in a chat room. Like it's really hard because you can't get that talk.
Plus you have all these opinions going left and right.
And this is my opinion. So, but it's, I could be completely wrong, but I definitely believe in what I see. I definitely believe in it, and I trade it, and I do it every day. So like that's just me. So I definitely, yeah. So anyway, What's you have another question?
Yeah. I got some questions.
We got like 3 minutes, player.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because I got.
Okay, yeah. Let me see here. Do you have any criteria if you're going to enter a trade in midday?
Do I have any criteria if I'm going to trade midday?
Dude, entering midday or intraday is so hard for me, man.
Dude, let me tell you. I have no criteria for that because the rule is for me, do not enter any trades after, let me remember the time difference. 12 o'clock Eastern time. As soon as 12 o'clock hits, I'm not placing a damn thing. And I'm not placing another one until 1:30 Eastern time. So I won't place a trade between those times because if I do, it's just complete. It's even more random, dude.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Yeah, and there's like no liquidity. The volume drops off, and the market starts to like it easily moves with no volume. So therefore, it's erratic. You need good volume to have nice setups,
Right.
Because then it's like smoother. The higher the volume, sometimes you can give a better, cleaner chart. So, yeah.
All right, cool. Let me see here. We got time for one more?
Yeah, man, go for it.
Okay, so if you're entering a swing trade, and let's say the volume is only at 9:45, the volume is only like 60,000, and it's a swing. Would you enter?
At 9:45, you said 60,000?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. I personally would not. Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Because I need something to have at least a million volume, and I want that every day minimum. Minimum. And if it's not showing that, I'm not touching it for the same purpose of what we talked about just a second ago.
Yeah.
Like it needs. I don't like that as middays because the volume drops off. Like for the swing trade, I need some good volume. Not good. That's not even good. But I need some decent volume so I can know that if I got to get out or it's at least going to move. Like it's at least going to move. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm not going to sit there and watch paint melt or paint dry. So like I'm not going to sit there all day. So that's just my opinion. But like I have to have it.
All right, cool.
All right, brother.
Let me see real quick. Can we look at a chart real quick?
Oh, you're trying to
one
get
chart,
me, son.
dog.
No, man, look at you playing.
Come on, man.
All right. This is it.
All right. All right. It'll be quick.
Are you showing or is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Can you see this?
Yes.
Okay, so this is Pfizer. This is a 5-minute chart. I went short, covered, shorted, covered. I'm going to swing this into tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow morning. I'll probably get rid of it by 10:30. Here's the daily. It came up 4 days. It hit 20 SMA, and it came down. Would you take this? What do you think of my idea? Do you think that's a good idea, or do you think is it a trade you would take?
I mean, regardless of whether it's a trade I would take or not, it doesn't mean you shouldn't take it. You know what I'm saying? Everyone has their own, plans and setups. So just know that, like, I know what you're looking for is some type of I get it, like confirmation, feel better.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that because when I talk to other traders who have more experience than me and we're like reviewing charts and stuff, I'm the same way sometimes. So I get it. But I also know what they make very clear is that if it's your setup, you need to know, if you know how to trade that stuff and you're good at it, then don't let anyone else tell you no. You know what I'm saying? It's super important, man. Now, how you explain the trade and what I'm looking at right now is a downtrend. on the daily, you know, and on the daily there's a downtrend. It looks like I am not drawing it, but it looks like it's actually hit that downtrend line yesterday and topped off, which actually happens to be the SMA, which isn't a coincidence, right? And because price is king and everything else is lagging. So like when price does that, I mean, I can see why you'd short. Like I get it. If you know, as long as you have good risk management and you stick to your plan and cut it when you're wrong, great. Only thing I would say is like it looks like you covered like really quickly. You know what I'm saying, for a swing.
I was looking at it as a day trade at first. I
So one
decided
thing I would say, one thing I would say really quickly is, especially as a beginner, don't like be careful with like just deciding something's going to be now a swing trade. You know what I'm saying? Just be careful with that. Just because like just always plan that out before you enter the trade. Because if you like it where it could be a swing trade, you'll know because you look at the daily chart and you're like, and you're primarily a swing trader, and then you enter it. And yeah, sure, you can enter with bigger size because you're like want to cover for a day trade too. That's fine if that's part of the plan, you know. But just don't wing the plan. Don't create a new plan when you're already in the plan, because then you don't have a plan. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then you become the guy who walked in with no plan at all. At least you started with one, right? He no plan at all, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna stay in this." You know, like it's just like just be careful. And I say be careful with that because as you grow, like I know traders who will do that, but I think they would admit this if I just said it now that I'm thinking it out loud, is that they've just done it so many times that they did plan it. You know what I'm saying? Like like these traders have been trading, like Nate from Investors Underground. He's been trading for like 18 minimum years. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, and until you ask me these questions, like I love talking to guys and young traders, right? Or in terms of mindset, right? We're growing, we're all growing, and I'm nowhere near anything. So like, but what I'm saying is like, it's cool that I lost my train of thought. Sorry.
Come on, man.
I lost it, dude.
You were talking about people who change their plans mid-plan, and when you talk to
yes,
traders.
some of them do. But like until you ask questions like this, we don't, and I'm nowhere near them. But like, there's a lot of things that until you ask me a question, I'm like, I don't even think about that anymore. It's like there's a baseball player goes up to the pit or the mound, and like, does he always do this and think about it? Like, or is he like, does he look left, look right? You know, whatever his goal is that he always does he even think about that? He doesn't. Like it's like a habit now. So like, until you ask those things or we get into this kind of conversation, it doesn't really cross people's minds. Does that make sense? That's why it's so hard to talk about trading. It's like so hard because everything's different, right? Everything is unique and everything's a little different. But I'm glad you asked these questions, man. I appreciate it. It was fun.
Cool.
All right,
my man.
Hey, man,
I appreciate
good
your
luck.
help, man.
Have a good day, man.
All right, you too. Appreciate it.